Oh, sweetheart.
Peter, can I ask a quick question before we get started? Is Peter there? Yes, not yet.
Good morning, y'all. Good afternoon, good evening.
Hi.
Hi,
Hi,
Peter. Good morning.
good morning to all of you, or evening. Hope you're all doing well and nature is treating you well with the weather where you are. I am setting up windows and stuff like that. So, um, appreciate you being here. And Mike, the floor recognizes you.
Hi, thanks. I need to take an emergency call in the middle of this call. I just want to confirm we are recording this, right? And I can view that little piece that I'm going to miss.
Yes,
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
make sure that's happening with both of our recording services here. Fantastic. We're good. We're good. Got quite a turnout, or else somebody's ringing the doorbell multiple times. Okay, fantastic. Ah, busy day. All righty, I'm going to get started here. Welcome to the Money Mastery Challenge. This is part two. I'm your facilitator, Peter Johnson, and you're doing great. Thank you so much for all your participation. We saw a number of messages come in and reports during the week. We'll take a moment to reflect on that in a second. This week, we're going to be talking about our personal money histories and our beliefs about ourselves, about money, about what we need to be for other people, and how it all ties together. We'll look back at our history a little bit and we'll focus on those moments when we went through different kinds of experiences that and the stories that we made up, the meaning we made up about those turning points. And I think you'll really find it rewarding. Um, I have a belief that when we pay attention to ourselves, it feels as good as someone else paying attention to us. It's a gift that we give ourselves, and I think that you'll enjoy the process. So I would like to hear from anybody who has anything to share about the last week, about looking at your credit score, about looking at your financial satisfaction survey and those items that either you want to brag about or you know you need improvement in, that kind of thing. I noticed in the messages, and maybe it's just me and my interpretation, that I heard a lot of reports that were very positive. I've always stayed on top of this and so on. And then I've heard some, and not too many, like I really, haven't done a good job in any area particularly, or I have a lot of areas of improvement. But I haven't heard much from people who've started to look into it and found some little roadside bombs or something, some surprises or face some challenges in their thinking. I doubt that everything's all bad for everybody, for anybody, and things could be all good, but that would be rare. So I want to get down to a deeper level today on vulnerability and where the struggles are or the surprises. And I want you to know that we all have your back because we've all had those. Then we're going to go into that exploration of our money story over time. So, would anybody like to share anything with that beginning setting? Okay, how about Philip?
Yeah. Hi, Peter. Hi, guys. So I'm at my last leg of this trip to Dubai, and I'm in a hotel. So before I did the first call with you guys, my plan was to book myself into a nice five-star Sheraton hotel. But then by doing the exercise with you guys and the scoring system, I realized I need to be much more prudent with my money. And that was definitely very helpful, that satisfaction survey. So I have begrudgingly downgraded myself into another hotel, cheaper, but much more budget friendly. So this is about thinking about the long term and my finances. And my pattern I've seen from my father, as well as in me, is the feast of famine cycle of things with money. So obviously, you guys know what that means. Credit score, I am pretty much on top of. I had a couple of defaults during COVID because of stuff that happened during COVID. So I know where it is, and it is going to be the way it is still for another couple of years as well. So I know where that stands. And I did worry about it when I had those defaults, but I had no option at that point. But now I've gotten over it because for 3 years now since that happened, I know it'll be in better shape in a year or two. So not worry too much about it at this point. Can't be too hard on myself doing what I do. So those are my takeaways and some of the things that happened in the last 7 days. With that, I'm in.
That's a wonderful check in, Philip, and it resonates with me because I have a tendency to compensate for challenges, reward myself. I like to go out to eat, and I rationalize these indulgences, and I don't really know where to draw the line. It's like, I need to take care of myself to some extent, but I don't want to overdo it. So as we work through these several weeks, we'll gain clarity on the absolute numbers as well as the feelings, and maybe come to some peace about that. I made a note. Anyone else have a check-in? Oh, Ash, welcome. Can't hear you for some reason, but I don't think you're muted.
Can't hear you.
Now he's muted. Hmm.
Maybe I can share what you try to figure out his microphone.
Can you hear me now?
Well, there we go.
You can hear me now?
Uh,
Okay.
but why aren't you popping up to the main screen here? Ash, let me come back to you.
Okay.
Oh, that time it worked. Here you are. You're on screen, and go ahead, Ash.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for making this happen to me and to all the folks up in IN. I really appreciate that.
Ash, I can't hear you that well.
Yeah, it's
Can you hear
good.
me now?
Can you speak into the microphone, or I'm not hearing you very clearly or loudly?
Talk
How
loud.
about now?
Better.
Okay, so thank you for doing this for IN Nation and all for us. Number 14 resonated me the most. My level of charitable giving. I've been kind of like cutting that down. I haven't really done much of the charitable giving. So that kind of like touched my emotional side about money too, which again goes into number 18 too. So I started giving out just random acts of kindness kind of a thing.
Oh,
One
nice.
of the ladies who I met, she said she didn't have shoes. And I was and I just gave her without even thinking, because that created a little bit of a nice feeling of abundance that I have enough. I have like 20, 30 pairs of shoes, and this lady didn't have shoes. So I think that's what really made me kind of look into 18 too. What are my feelings about what kind of feelings do I get? So thank you for doing this survey because it triggered a chord with me. Thank you.
You're welcome. What a wonderful observation that we can help beat those feelings of scarcity by charitable giving. I have a new theory, and it's about what Jesus did and what he said. And we know he said, love your neighbor, give to the poor and so on. I think that he said that for us as the givers. I think he wanted our well-being. Of course, he wanted other people to be helped. But I think the major benefit was meant for the giver. So just my theory, but it leads to well-being, and well-being is the root of the word wealth, by the way. So I think that's a great observation, Ash. Thank you so much for that. How about David B?
Hello guys, hello Peter. So yeah, for myself, so as I live in France, I don't have a credit score or anything like that. Anyway, recently I went to the bank to have an idea of how much I can borrow for my future project. So yeah, it was not big enough amount in a way, but yeah, the banker commented on how I had a very good banking hygiene, if it's a correct translation. And yeah, so also doing the survey is interesting because I see a lot of area where it's not clear whether am I being like, do I want too much? Is it some perfectionism issue or something? There's definitely a lot of area where it's very good. Somewhere where I was about to say somewhere it could be better, but to be honest, it can always be better everywhere. But at some point, you just need to choose your battle. So yeah, like the giving more to some charity, helping family members, etc. But I guess if you want to be able to do any of that, you might need to first focus on yourself. And once you've got enough, you can then start to give from the overflow. At least that's what I think so far.
So my hearing isn't the best. I want to make sure that I captured the gist of what you were saying. As you went through the survey, it sounds like you had different thoughts as you did it about whether you were being overly optimistic or maybe pessimistic about some of the items, or noticing that you might, at different times, have different opinions, even though, regardless of the facts. Is that more or less what you were saying?
It's with the more like with the pessimism, like there is one area where I can't say anything, and it's debt because I don't have any. So obviously, I'm very happy with that. But there are a lot of other area where yeah, it can be it can be seen as good enough, but so yeah, there might be some pessimism in there. So yeah, that's it.
I think that points to the fact that as we look at our situations over the next 7 weeks, we're going to gain additional clarity and maybe come to terms with some of those things that, you have a first impression, but you don't know if there's something more to it. I think we'll gain more of a 3D view of our situations. It's probably changing a lot. I know if I wake up in, positive mood or a negative mood, a lot of it has to do with feelings in the moment. But I think looking at it, taking it seriously, I really appreciate that you guys have done that. So may it be useful for you. And anyone else? Sid.
Hi, Peter. Hi, everyone. My question sort of related to what Philip was saying, which is, I often find myself asking, like, am I being too indulgent about some expense I'm undertaking? I'm pretty thoughtful with the way I manage my money, and I have no debt and everything. I always feel like I have money to spare, and yet I find myself questioning, is this a little too much? Do I need to pull back? And on the other side, when there's also the opposite feeling. But like, am I depriving myself? Am I getting myself things that I've sort of earned, or why am I not doing that? So yeah, like the question really is, how do I get to that point where I feel really good about
Mhm.
the money that I'm spending? Feel neither wasteful nor that I'm not spending enough.
What I know we struggle so much with it, and and we touch money so many times during the day. It's kind of like dieting. You know, how much am I eating? Who knows? We just we just go through the day and oh, here's a new snack or whatever. One of the big struggles that I've dealt with over the years is keeping track of money. Uh, because with that clarity, then we can see if we're reaching our goals or what's reasonable to spend in terms of the total outlay. And I would like to have a discussion about the tools that you guys have found. I know there was one posting about a tool. I used to enter every receipt that I got every year, and I finally just cut that back to entering only the receipts that would have a tax impact at the end of the year so I could bring up my tax reports easily around tax time. But personally, I need to work on that area too, in clarity about what's actually going on. And I don't want to have to look at the budget at the end of the month and find out I was out of whack with my intentions. I'd like to know in real time what's going on. If I'm 30% of the way through a month, have I spent 30% of my food budget, for example? So if you guys have any ideas, why don't we throw them out right now and later we'll look at that in more depth. Do you have any tools that you use? Because I think even Mint has been abandoned by Intuit. Oh, great, you guys. Hee hee. This is all really helpful to me. Mike.
Yeah, I use a great tool. It's called YNAB. It's You Need a Budget. And it it's it's excellent, and it's basically the envelope system on steroids, right? And it allows you to forecast and take care of unforeseen events, and so it's like, let's say you had a car repair that was not planned, right? So it allows you to say, hey, you know what, maybe I'll cut back on my entertainment a little bit, and it's a zero balance budget. And I use it so I'm actively trading stocks and I'm managing my personal life. So I use it for both, like, so they don't mix, right? And it works great on your phone. In United States, I don't live in the States, but United States, you can synchronize it with your bank account and all of that stuff. So it'll load all the transactions, recurring stuff. The beautiful thing for me is that like I stopped getting surprised, right? So like where I'd have to pay my insurance or my kids' school renewal fee, and that would always go, oh shit, I need to $2,000 now. And I'd always come up with the money or use my credit cards or whatever. But then I'd said, hey, now I got into the mindset where instead of paying whatever the fee was to renew my kid's school, I'm paying a twelfth of that every month into a little account, right? And automatically, and it hits me in little discrete chunks, and then all of a sudden, at the end of 12 months, when my kid's school comes up, I said, I have the money available in cash, right? So that has allowed me also to snowball a little bit, because I was able to say, oh, my car insurance, if instead of paying 12 monthly payments, if I pay them the year up front, they charge me 10 months, right? So now I'm starting to gain. Now I'm starting to prepay stuff, right? And hey, I'll pay for the year. Give me an annual discount, because I'm basically budgeting. I'm paying them monthly in my budget, but I'm paying the provider annually up front. So it's helped me a ton.
Wow. Wow. Well, I'm going to run right out and try it. That's for sure. Love the fact that you can connect it to your bank account here in the States because I don't want to have to do that either. I just want to have my little dashboard. Um, yeah, it just seems to me that it's not it's not a mistake the way we mostly live and not having that clarity. But boy, it's a cruel mistress because it just hits us with these unexpected.
There's one last thing, sorry, just to add. I'm not affiliated with the company. I don't own shares, but um, the it has a great indicator, which is age of money. So as you start planning, your money starts aging, right? So, once they have a magic number like 32 days, that means you're technically not living paycheck to paycheck, right? You have now a month, right? So as you build that day forward, you're building yourself more of a safety net, more of a cushion. And like I coached all of my team on using it. It was a game changer for everybody. But that little like age of money was a huge mental thing because it allowed me to say, hey, now I have a month of security or I have 2 months of security. So if the rug were to be pulled out from under me, I know I have this much runway, which was real mental security.
I think clarity is the key to fixing things. But if we don't have clarity, then we get lost in the emotions of it. So that's great. We have a bunch of hands up, and I will take everybody who has their hands up now, and then we'll move on to today's exercise because I don't think we'll want to shortchange it. Why don't we go with Philip?
Yeah, so I do the usual spreadsheet. I used to be very anal about it, but not so much anymore. And kind of like you, Peter, I used to scan every receipt and make it digital. But now it's just the tax deductible expenses that I scan and keep a digital copy of that, and it's entered in a spreadsheet. I have separate business account as well as a separate personal account. So any money that comes incoming, I do know what I need to transfer into my personal to do my personal spending and bills. So there is that division there, which is a game changer for me. An app I use is Revolut, Revolut. I think it's in the US as well. I'm not 100% sure. I know it's coming to India soon and other parts of the world. And in there, you are able to create wallets. So I have wallets for an emergency fund, and you can put a target in there, and you get you can see a real-time picture of how much of the money of the target you attained. So there are, as an emergency wallet of £1,500. There's a fuck off fund. That's what I call it, for 3 to 6 months. There's a number for that. I have a Dubai spend wallet, and I always put in the local currency so I don't pay foreign exchange to transfer. So things like that is very handy. Also in Revolut, I have a crypto wallet, a commodities wallet where I have a little bit of money in gold and silver, as well as some money in Forex. So it is handy to do a lot of the basic stuff in small numbers. I don't think you can do big numbers in Revolut, but as far as I'm concerned, it's a hub for a lot of things where I can keep track of what's going on. It's pretty cool. And then I have a thing called Notion, Notion. It's actually better than Excel for me. And it's ADHD friendly because I have ADHD, to keep track of revenue and business expenses, business forecasting, revenue forecasting, and monthly outgoings and things like that. I find it a bit more interactive for me and friendly for me rather than an Excel spreadsheet. So Revolut and Notion, Notion. Those are the big ones that I rely on a lot, aside from the Excel spreadsheets and all the usual stuff. Hope that was helpful.
That is, I'll definitely be looking at all of these. Maybe at some point I'll do a client Zoom on the subject of budgeting and tools that are out there. David, back to France.
Yeah. So my case is a bit special because I am very suspicious of giving my information to application, website, etc. So my tools for banking, etc. Actually it's an accounting software called GnuCash. It's free and open source. Like you have access to source code. Basically, you install it on your own computer, and that's how I do my accounting. So over the years, I've set up different categories of things I spend on. So that means that okay, so I have this account, and these accounts, and those other accounts are the expenses. So there is something for heating, something for, I don't know, for like furniture, for electricity, etc. And that's how I do it basically, and it's very helpful. So this way I can know how much I am spending each month, and yeah, I have an idea. Okay, so maybe this month I might have gone overboard with the gardening stuff. It's one of my weakness, and yes, so it's simple. I can have some graph and get an idea of where things are going. So I still need to feel it myself. Like okay, this goes into this category, but yeah, at some point it's either I give my information to some online some company I can't really trust, or I do the work myself. So far that's why I'm rolling.
Can you spell the name of the software?
I can write it in the chat.
Yes,
It's,
putting it in chat would be fantastic. Oh, GNU Cache. All right. Okay. So Benny,
Yeah, I'm the one who posted that budgeting or expense tool called Expense Manager on the Money Mastery timeline. It's basically I record everything that I spend on there, and everything that comes in, like income and stuff that comes in, and I can categorize things so that I can choose a certain time period, like at the end, the whole year or a month, and I can create graphs and see how much I'm spending on certain things. That's all I use it for. I can see where my money's going, where it's and where I'm making money and all that stuff. It's real simple. It's not electronically or digitally connected to my bank accounts or anything like that. It's completely isolated. And I just, it's just it's a way to record things and make graphs. And secondly, I create a separate bank account. I call it escrow, in which I put in all the money in there I'm going to spend on homeowners insurance, car insurance, other yearly expenses, memberships like this one. I budget that in for the membership at Integration Nation. Those things that you spend money on, you have to at an annual basis or monthly basis, and I can keep track of my bills through the expense manager. But most of all, I put 18% of my paycheck into a 401k plan. 18%. That's not even counting what the company matches. It doesn't even count the so-called, they call it profit sharing. I don't know why it's a nonprofit company. Profit sharing goes into that retirement account too. So it's kind of huge and fat. And my parents and my dad drilled into me, start saving the moment you start working. And obviously, I've been working for 35 years, and I've been dumping money into a 401k for 35 years, and it's grown fat. And so I live a simple life. I try not to buy a lot of shit because I'm not a believer in that. It's supposed to be a nice guy trait and not to you treat yourself. I'd rather spend it on traveling and experience than buy a lot of stuff. And I have a lot of stuff. And I'm trying to cut back on that, guitars, firearms. Shit, I got a lot of shit. So with that, I'm in.
Thanks, Benny. Guitars are definitely an important thing for sure. I don't know about guns, but that's fantastic. Great report. Okay. Who's ready for a journey? A little self-reflection. I would like to bring up the PowerPoint screen, so I will. I'm going to do it in a new way in Zoom, since everything keeps changing. Go to advanced, share sound, yes. Do a portion of the screen, yes. That portion is going to be here. Perfect. Well, when technology works, it works. All right, so getting at some of the motives for why we spend money and some of the reasons that or conclusions, beliefs that we've built up over time kind of guide us. certainly we do. Many of us spend money we haven't earned to buy things we don't want to impress people we don't like. I just went out on a date with a woman who was, gosh, she's cute and really sweet and warm. We only had one date, and she asked if I would do her a favor. I said, sure. She said, can I borrow $9,000? A nice person, but where are the boundaries? You know? So this is, we went through the homework pretty much. This is the hero's journey that we're on, that we're going to explore today. The hero's journey is sort of the pattern that stories and cultural legends and so on follow a similar pattern. The hero embarks on an adventure, faces challenges, goes through changes, and comes back as a different person, bringing wisdom to the community. So we're going to look at different phases of our lives and events that were turning points and had significant impact on our money beliefs today. What we'll do is I'll bring up each slide and you can reflect personally. Just take notes on your thoughts on it. And then when we get to the end, we can break into little groups and discuss what we've covered or what we've seen. So number one is limiting beliefs. And this goes back as early as you want to. These are invisible forces shaping how we think about money. So what limiting beliefs have you held about money? Were these beliefs inherited from your family or society, or were they derived from personal experiences? And what impact have they had on money? So if you want to, you could start with your childhood experiences and what you labeled yourself as. I remember thinking when I was probably 9 years old or something that I just couldn't win at the money game. And I think that has had an impact on my life for sure, and an unconscious one. So, what limiting beliefs have you had about money? All right. Thank you. In the hero's journey, there's often a disruption or a challenge that pulls the hero out of the ordinary world and forces change. Financially, this could be a job loss or a divorce, a major investment, or a sudden windfall. So the reflection is, what was the life-changing disruption in your financial life? I'm sure many of us have had more than one. You can just pick one for now. Did it shatter your sense of security, or did it force you to take new risks? What was the life-changing disruption in your financial life? Every hero has moments that define their character, like a highlight reel in a movie or movie trailer. Moments of victory, of confidence, critical decisions, times when you felt truly alive or accomplished. I suppose these could be negative trailer moments too, but what were your movie trailer moments with money? When have you felt like the hero of your own financial story, whether through achievement, clarity, or confidence? Yeah, let's stick with the positive here. I'm sure we've all had positive experiences. Can you replay it like a movie in your mind? What did it look like? Who was there with you? Most of all, how did you feel? In many journeys, the hero reaches a false peak, a moment where they think they've succeeded, only to face a setback or collapse. Financially, this could be a time when everything seemed secure, but circumstances led to an unexpected fall. Have you ever experienced a false peak in your financial journey? What was the moment where you thought you had made it, but then faced a collapse or a significant setback? How did this moment challenge your sense of stability? And what beliefs did it force you to reconsider? Then in the hero's journey, there's often a day when the hero feels all is lost. This is the darkest hour, the moment of despair and hopelessness, where it seems impossible to go on. What was your day all is lost moment with the money? Did you ever feel like there was no way forward or that the situation was hopeless? I encourage you to tap into the emotions that you felt in that moment and consider how it shaped your current relationship with money. And what actions did you take? After the darkest hour, the hero begins to see the light, a moment of clarity or redemption that offers a new path forward. This is when the hero realizes that their journey is far from over and transformation is possible. What was the moment you began to see the light? Did you have a financial aha moment or breakthrough where you saw a new possibility or pathway to redemption? What triggered a shift in your perspective? It might have been a new opportunity, a change in your mindset, a small victory that opened up possibilities. Finally, the hero's journey ends with a snapshot of transformation, the opposite of where they started. Financially, this is where we begin to experience a healthier, more empowered relationship with money, one free from limiting beliefs and fear. So the question is, what is the opposite snapshot of where you started? If you were to capture a before and after picture of your relationship with money, what would the after look like, and how would it differ from your starting point? Start to imagine your future self, someone who has overcome limiting beliefs, disruptions, and setbacks, and who now experiences financial freedom or empowerment. What's different about this version of us? How do we approach money decisions and challenges? So picture this as vividly as possible. Where are you? Who are you with? How are you feeling? Where is it leading you to? Really, everyone's money journey is filled with highs and lows, and this reflection is an ongoing process. Your opposite snapshot is not the end of the journey, but a guidepost toward living a more empowered and conscious financial life. So, Sid, can we break into groups? I'll have to give you make co-host. Okay. So let's just break into small groups for about 5 minutes.
How many people to a group here?
How many do we have on? About 15 people. I'd say about 3 people to a group, maybe 2.
And 5 minutes?
Yep, let's keep it to 7 minutes, I'll say.
Okay, there we go. me see. We'll jump in a group. I can go to room. Oh, all right.
I guess we are the early adopters. Most of them don't want to come in. You see, they're stuck in all the questions, stuck in the rut. Peter, these
That's
questions are so deep, man. They kind of like mess up with your head a little bit.
that's the whole idea. We don't want to leave those old beliefs just lying around in a glass case and never touch them. That's
Absolutely,
awesome.
absolutely.
Awesome. Welcome home, everybody. Welcome home. Oh my goodness. I imagine we could do another hour just on sharing stories, but would like to hear some. So raise a hand if you have something that you would like to share.
Yeah, it's not David being himself.
So Sid's got his hand up.
Yeah, this was super, Peter. I feel like I'm going to be sitting with these stages rest of the week and working on them some more. But like two reflections. One, I thought, as I look back, I've gone through these stages a few different times. I've gone through this cycle a few different times in my life. One early childhood, and then when I got my first job and spent time in my 20s, I think I had a different set of beliefs. When I got divorced and moved careers, it was different set of beliefs. I think I had sort of a false peak moment, getting fired, which felt like the peak of my career. It started a different relationship with money. So I feel like I'm in sort of the third or the fourth cycle of my beliefs and relationship with money. So that was one. And the other thing which is really crystallized for me was, two of my sort of fundamental beliefs that I got early on was making money has to be hard, right? And it can go away easily, right? And and I think the second one, especially, can go away easily. I felt like and I've always had enough. I don't know if I've truly enjoyed money in a stress-free way.
Mm.
Right. And one of the things I'm sort of taking away from this is how do I enjoy money more? How do I teach myself to enjoy it more? So that's my big one from this reflection. I'm in with that.
I love that question. By the way, Sid, is it okay if we go over a few minutes?
It's fine by me. It's really it depends on the others, but we can keep the recording going at least and have the whole thing. If people want to hang around later, why not?
Okay. I'm just thinking of 5 or 10 minutes because I have other things to attend to that are time sensitive here. So how about Marcus?
Thank you, Peter, and hello, everyone. I wasn't able to join last week, or I didn't know about this until Siddharth posted on Thursday. And, it came just at the right time. I was just making a decision on Friday to extend the contract. And, speaking of the limiting belief systems, I did not feel like I wanted to extend that. I did it because I needed to pay the bills. And I just felt like with every cell in my body, like I don't feel like it. I did it. I became sick, nauseous, and depressed. I've been feeling sick ever since Friday. So I just want to say thank you for this group. I think I'm in the absolute right group right now. So looking forward to dig into these limiting beliefs, which I think I just found out one on Friday that, if I don't extend this, then I can't, everything is going to, I'm going to lose all the money. I'm going to lose my, my rent or my house and everything. So I think I got some work to do there for sure. Also, a question, Peter, if we can connect so that I can get the assignment from last week somehow. With that, thanks.
Yeah, wow. Thanks, Marcus. Everything from last week is online. I posted the video from Zoom and a link to our Otter transcription, which you can interact with because it's a chatbot-like tool, or you can just read the whole transcript. If you have any trouble with any of that, and I think the slides are up too, then just reach out to me directly, peter.johnson@pwjohnson.com. And I'll be putting up the video and the slides and the Otter transcript for this week's session this week. It might not be until Friday, depends. I'm leading an offsite tomorrow and Thursday for a rather large family dispute. So I'll do it as soon as I can. And thank you for that. And every time I've had a bad feeling about a decision I made that involved money, the bad feeling was trying to tell me something. They were two of maybe three disasters I've had in my life. So I just encourage you to look and see if there's anything legally or character-wise or the things that could possibly undermine you, and see where that feeling's coming from, or just get quiet and ask yourself, where's that feeling coming from? Guide me to look deeper into that area. You might have some inner wisdom there.
Yep. Thanks, Peter.
Yep. So, Philip.
I'll be brief, Peter, because I know you have a few other things you want to share. So I've been through these stages several times in my life, and even been through these stages vicariously with my father going through these stages in his business and his job and all of that. So I know these stages intimately. My most recent one was in 2020. I specifically remember the day is lost stage. It was December 2021. And yeah, I won't go into too much detail because we have other things to worry about. But right now, I am out of that phase, and I'm at stage 7, the opposite synapse knot right now. So I've come through that, the most recent one. So I am at stage 7, and I'm very thankful I am at that stage. But I realize the bigger I dream financially, I'm going to go through these things probably a few more times. But each time has made me stronger and realize I'm resilient. I have these skills. Most importantly, this time, what is different is I have the support of men. So many men in this group, in another business group, sales coaches, these coaches. I need the support. The higher I'm going and the more the cycles I go through, I need support. I won't be able to do it on my own. That was my big aha. I need the support of other men who are much more skilled than me, to sharpen me and to soothe me and comfort me. With that, I mean.
Oh, wow, you said a lot there, Philip. We go through these stages several times. We're not, I'm experiencing it right now too, some of my greatest growth. And the resilience piece, I think, is essential. That's what's helped me stay sane and level-headed is I know that I'm not only resilient, but I'm resourceful. I'm really resourceful. I'm maybe the most creative person I know. And there's all kinds of answers out there, but if we believe there are not answers, we won't see the answers. It's really being open to it and realizing the gifts that we already have. Somehow we've survived all those damn times that we thought were going to kill us. So thank you, men, for being there for us and for each other. Anybody else? No hands raised? All right. Well, congratulations and thank you for going through this. Thank yourself for the gift you've given yourself. You guys are awesome. I love being here with you. I am learning as much as you are, maybe more. I'm not going to let you off the hook too easily, though. Once a week, we're going to face what may be a fear for some of you. We're coming to the end of the year, and we have some time to look at our taxes and maybe make some adjustments, but to be aware of what we're going to need going into the new year and the next cycle of taxes for those of us in the US in April. So questions would be things like, have you filed your taxes for last year? Because you have 7 days till the absolute end of extensions. You should have already paid the money that you owed, which don't ask me how you calculate that if you haven't done your tax returns yet, but we're supposed to submit the money by tax day of April 15th. What year-end actions can you take? Do you want to accelerate income into this year? Maybe postpone some income into next year? You have until April 15th if you're in the US to make contributions to your 2024 IRAs. But the rules may be different for your 401ks and so on. And for some of us who are entrepreneurs, do we have any idea of what our tax liability might be for this year? Are we going to come up short? Has our estimated payments schedule or payments this year, will it be enough to cover taxes for the year? So as difficult as it is to prognosticate or to know, it's time to start thinking about some things like that from a cash flow perspective. So during the week, drop in online and share your goals, share your breakthroughs, your disappointments, insights. Ask for help if you need it, whether it's emotional or whatever it might be. Maybe introductions, maybe job openings, I don't know. And just watch your behavior, watch your feelings. And when you have a strong feeling, check in and see what thoughts are connected to it. Just observe like an objective outsider if you can. Don't be judgmental on yourself. We have enough to deal with reality. We don't have to beat ourselves up at the same time. Self-compassion goes a long ways towards our healing and our energy level to deal with problems. Next week, we're going to look at bad behavior and harmful heuristics. We have a lot of tendencies as humans that serve us well or served us well in the savannah, but not so much in terms of relationships, jobs, investing, and so on. So if we are aware of these potential pitfalls, we can watch out for them and maybe change the story a little bit. Any last minute questions or thoughts? Oh, and don't ask for us. Don't forget to ask for help if you need it. That's a hard one. It deserves mentioning twice. So any last minute questions before we bounce off? Or okay, Philip?
So it's an observation I had. Maybe you guys, including you, Peter, can maybe shed some light. So I had a call with a client, a discovery call with a client today. Last month, as in September, I did sales for 14,000. And the call with the discovery call with the client in October today went really well. And I knew I should be closing her on that very call, but I did not because I knew I could be getting that nearly $15,000 from just this one client, whereas it was 14,000 in September from 3 clients. So it was a big jump and a big leap. So I said, let's do a longer call and moved it to a few weeks from now. And I reported that to my sales coach, and he said, why didn't you pitch and close her? Because now I'm thinking back, she was actually ready to part with the money. She was very happy. She was at that buying temperature, but I balked. Was it because the number or the leap was just too much, or is it some self-limiting belief in me? I don't know. But I did start kicking myself a few hours after the call. I was in such a bad mood. Why did I not do that? It was all there ready for the taking. Just an observation. If you had any thoughts, great. If not, I just wanted to get it off my chest to you guys.
Well, Philip, but if you knew the answer already, what would it be?
It was too good. I mean, I do not believe such good things happen so fast to me. So maybe I couldn't believe it.
The working hard. Oh, I haven't
Yes,
heard yet.
absolutely. Yes, Sid said it. You said it, Peter. Yes, yes, yes.
That was my father all over the place.
Yes.
Sometimes it rains heavily, and that's
Yes.
good.
Feast of famine again. Yeah.
Oh, no famine. Just enjoy the feast a little more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Anyhow,
Do we have any other hands up? No? All right. Okay. Well, thank you all for your time, for being here, for your contribution. Thank you for taking care of yourselves. You are winners. And I look forward to next week. And jump online. Let's have some discussions and questions. All right? All right. Thank you so much. We'll see you then.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Have a nice week.